Section 1.5 Introduction to Writing Linear Equations. In this section, we are interested in writing the equation given a graph or information about the equation. And so before we get started, let's look at some definitions. The point-slope form of the equation of a non-vertical line with slope m that passes through the point x1, y1 is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Number 2, the slope-intercept form of the equation of a non-vertical line with slope m and y-intercept b is y equals mx plus b. So 1 and 2 will be used quite a bit in this section. Every line has an equation that can be written in the general form ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers, and a and b are not both 0. In order for us to write an equation, then we need to get some information about the line. And so this form here, the slope-intercept form, is going to be very helpful. So in this equation, remember that m represents the slope and b represents the y-intercept. So in order to write the equation, we're going to need to know the slope and the y-intercept, or at least have information so that we can find the slope or the y-intercept, or at least another point. Example 1. Write the equation of the lines for the graphs below. So here we have a line, and they're asking for the slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis, in this case at -2. So for m, we're going to find the slope, and recall that you can use the slope formula or you can use the rise over run. So that's going to be up to you which method you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to go ahead and use the rise over the run. So if I'm standing at this point, I'm going to go up 2 units. So I'm going to go up 2 units. So that's going to be my rise. And I'm going to run to the left 2 units. And since I'm going left, I'm going to represent that with a -2. So 2 divided by -2 is -1. So my slope is -1. So our next step is to find the equation, and we can use this slope-intercept form to guide us in writing the equation. So in our problem, we have m, which is -1, and we have b, which is -2. So I can rewrite this as -1 times x is -x, and then we have a -2. So my equation is y equals -x minus 2. Let's try letter B. So my y-intercept is right here at 2. And my slope, you want to pick a point that you can clearly see what the points are. If I choose this point, it's hard for me to identify what those values are. So I'm going to pick this point here, and I'm going to pick this point here. So if I'm standing here, I'm going to go up, let's see, 2, 4, 6 units. And then I'm going to go to the right 2 units. So my slope is going to be 3. So my equation, if we substituted the values into our slope-intercept form, we're going to end up with y equals our slope, which is 3, x plus b, which is 2. Example 2, write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form given m equals 4 and b equals 3. So anytime they say write the equation, the first thing that I like to do is write down my slope-intercept form. And the reason is because that kind of reminds me that at the end, my equation will look something like this. So then I ask myself, have they given me the slope? And they have, m is equal to 4. And have they given me the y-intercept? And so they have as well. So I'm just going to substitute those values. So m is 4. And then we have x plus b, which is 3. And so that would be my answer. So let's look at a different way that we might be asked this question. So in example 3, it says, write the equation of the line in a slope-intercept form that passes through the point 0, 3, and m equals -2. So again, I start by writing my slope-intercept form. And now let's observe. They do give me my slope, so that's awesome. And now they give me this point. Okay, so this point, if I was to graph, is sitting at this location. So you can see that this point is my y-intercept. Okay, so in this case, b is 3. So my slope is -2 and b is 3. Another way that you could do this is using the point slope form, which in your other class for Math 1314, this would be one of the methods that you could use as well. So we have y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And so what we want to do here is, since they give you the point 0, 3, we can call that x1 and y1. And then they give you the slope of -2. So I'm going to substitute those values. Y1 is 3, m is -2, and x1 is 0. So this method will come in handy whenever the point is not a y-intercept. Okay, so if we simplify, we get -2x. -2 times 0 is 0. Let's add 3 on both sides. So we get y equals -2x plus 3. And you can see that we ended up with the same answer. Let's try example 4. Write an equation in point slope form for the line passing through points 0, 4 and 3, 6. Then solve the equation for y. So if I start off by writing this form, I know that I need to get an m and a b. So I ask myself, do they give me m? So if I look at the problem, there's no m here, but they give me 2 points. And so from there, I know that I can use my slope formula to find the slope. So let's call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 in this case is 6, minus y1 is 4, divided by x2, which is 3, and x1 is 0. In this case, y2 is 6, y1 is 4, x2 is 3, and x1 is 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. 3 minus 0 is 3. So that means that my slope is going to be 2/3. And then we need 1 point, so we can use the 3, 6, or we can use the 0, 4. I'm going to use the 0, 4 because this is a special point. This is your y-intercept. And how do we know that? I can either graph it, or anytime x is 0, that makes this number your y-intercept. So now I can substitute it in here. So y is equal to my slope, 2/3 x, plus my y-intercept, which is 4. Okay, so just to show you that it doesn't matter which point you choose, you can still get the same answer. I'm going to use the point slope so that we can also practice with that. And so this time I'm going to have y minus y1. I'm going to use 6 as my y1. My slope is 2/3, and x1 is 3. So we get y minus 6 is equal to 2/3 x, and 2/3 times -3 is -2. So we're going to add 6 on both sides. So we get y is equal to 2/3 x plus 4. Okay. Using the point, the y-intercept would simplify this a little bit faster. But the point is you can use this method or this method. And as long as you have 1 point, which in this case we have 2, then you'll be able to do this procedure.